Fat Blaster Brain Booster Coffee. This is my version of bulletproof coffee with a few extra ingredients added in. So stay tuned and get your coffee pot brewing. Now, the first thing that I do is I brew my coffee, and I like to grind my own coffee beans. So I like to buy an organic mold-proof coffee. There are several out there. This is one I get here in Phoenix, Cardiology Coffee, actually Scottsdale. Some other ones that I really, really like are the Four Sigmatic mushroom type coffee, organic coffees. Think is the brand that I really like because it's all about brain energy. And I will simply buy the beans and then I just grind up whatever it is that I need for what I'm going to be making. Then I like to, because you know me, I'm plastic free and I don't really drink coffee regularly. So I have this stainless steel. It's actually a tea thing. You can see I've put my coffee in there. I've boiled my water and I've poured it in here and have allowed it to steep and stew and get really good. So the coffee is ready. Now, the ingredients that I like to add to mine is grass-fed butter. This is a brand that I get at Costco, Kirkland brand. Grass-fed butter, some MCT oil. This is the bulletproof brand. You want to make sure that your MCT is a C8 and not any lower than that for the maximum amount of good nutrients that you're going to get from that. And then from there, I add in a few other things. Now, if you're just following Dave Asprey's bulletproof coffee, that's pretty much what he puts in his. Now, I'm not doing bulletproof coffee for weight loss or anything like that. I like to use mine as a somewhat meal replacement. I want to have some collagen protein powder in there, as well as some other things to spice it up, because the reality of it is, as I mentioned, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't love coffee. So in my glass jar, I have my butter, my MCT oil, and then I have added 2 scoops of collagen powder, a sprinkle of nutmeg, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, some maca powder, some matcha powder. And remember, all of this is optional. You can get this at recipes.lowertoxiclife.com. You can find all this. Some matcha powder, just like a half a teaspoon of that. And then I also put in my cacao powder. Lots of different options. I buy an organic brand. There's several of them I get at Costco. And then you can also shop on Amazon for those. Same with the collagen powders. I like to use Ancient Nutrition. I also will use Vital Proteins. And I just purchased and am experimenting with the Orgain collagen chocolate flavored because I love the chocolate, thus the cacao powder. That's super important to me. So these are the things that I add. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of coconut cream, organic Trader Joe's coconut cream, and then coconut water. All right. So what I do typically is once I get this in here, I will put the hot coffee over it to begin to melt it. It's just kind of a fun little trick. Now, for those of you who work or are busy, you can make these little packets ahead of time. You can put all your scoops of stuff into little silicone bags or glass jars or whatever, have it ready for the next morning. And you can make all of this ahead of time too. I just like to have some fun with it while I'm meal prepping and doing other things like that. Now, if you're not a coffee drinker, I like to use spiced chai sometimes. This is a Trader Joe's brand. I've mentioned Four Sigmatic. You can actually get the Focus organic coffee supplement with mushrooms. I mentioned the matcha powder. And then I've experimented with this chaga tea, some chaga tea with some extra mushrooms. So again, just have some fun with this recipe for yourself and put it together for what's going to work best for you. All right, now that I have all of my ingredients added to my jar, I'm going to get my handy little immersion blender, and I'm just going to start blending it up to make it fabulous. Now, you can do this in a Ninja, you can do this in a bullet processor, even just a blender, but this just works great for me. And I blend it for about 30 seconds or so. It helps melt the butter, mix all of the collagen, all the powders, and get it really good in there. And then I'm going to put it over ice. Now, if you'd like to drink it warm, that's fantastic. You can. I happen to prefer mine iced. Now I'm just simply going to pour it over my ice in my fabulous Yeti. Let it sit for just about 30 seconds or so and get nice and chilled. And then, my Fat Blaster Brain Booster Coffee. And what does it do? Gives you brain focus. It helps break a fast. This is one of my favorite ways to break a fast when I've done a longer or mostly every day intermittent fasting, because it gives me those healthy fats. I get some protein in there and it just tastes delicious. And I can drink this first thing in the morning and I can go 3, 4, 5 hours before I require additional food. Now make sure you get my whole guide over at lowertoxiclife.com. And you can get all my recipes at recipes.lowertoxiclife.com. Do you drink bulletproof coffee? Do you have something fabulous that you drink in the mornings? Leave it in the comments below and make sure you're subscribed like all the cool people.